everyone, and welcome to my studio. If you're new here, I'm Diane, and here we paint things that make us happy. Simple as that. And today, this morning, I've been painting some daisies, and I thought you might like to see them. I've just put this one up as a short, which you might have seen, and if you haven't seen it, I'm sure you will do. So that was fun. I just did that. Before I did that, I did this. In this sketchbook, I've got this sketchbook here, which I designated Nature Sketchbook. It wasn't really to start with, it was just a bunch of stuff. But anyway, I had drawn this daisy in pencil, and I looked at it and I thought, oh, you look a bit sad, I need to colour you in. So I coloured that one in by starting with the background. Then I did another one, and then I did this one, and then I did that one. Next thing I knew, I had what they are now calling a spread, which as far as I'm concerned is a page of painting. And I thought you might like to see how I did that. Very easy. And I know some people are afraid of backgrounds. Being afraid of a background is a bit of a limitation, really, because a background can really make all the difference. And I've got lots of drawings in here. Remember, we did this a little while ago without backgrounds. Okay, these are just literally kind of botanical sketches of wildflowers, which is nice. But then I got, just a second, got myself this book, which I know a lot of you have heard of. It's John or Jack Muir-Law's book on how to draw birds. And this is an extremely complicated, thorough, comprehensive, detailed, extremely extreme guide to how to paint birds. I think he even designates how long your pencil lead should be. He's got everything in here, and I think he's the kind of person, in his other one about sketchbooks, he's got in there even the Beaufort scale of wind speeds, just in case you needed to know whether it was going to be gale force or just storm force. Everything in here. But I saw this and I thought, oh, that looks really nice. It's Bee Eater, right? And I thought to myself, I think I'd like to copy that and see whether that's a way of painting that I could embrace. And so I got my sketchbook out and went and found, I did a couple of, you can see these pencil sketches of birds using his methods and techniques, because he's a much, much better painter of birds than I am. Anyway, so then I did this one, which is a copy, absolute copy of that one. And I thought that came out quite nicely, and I liked the background, which I did the bird first and then I put the background in. Then I did another one over here, and I haven't yet done the background. And you can see it's not in context, is it? So it's waiting. I left that so that I could show you the difference between the bird in context and the bird just sort of standing there on a blank page. And on this page, I did this one. This is some kind of a wader. It's a long-legged, long-beaked bird. And I put him on a yellowish kind of background, and I thought that looked quite good too. So now I'm going to do a daisy in the same kind of style of things, and that's what we're going to do next. So the thing is, this one I did on hot press paper, so it's quite smooth, and so the result is a little bit different from what it will be on here. And this is a smooth cartridge paper. This is just thick sketch paper, but it came out really quite nice. It worked fine. So I'm going to put that over there, and then I think I'll turn this round this way, and we'll do it here. And first thing to do, of course, is to give ourselves a sketch. And I know everybody is worried about drawing, and if you can't draw and you don't want to learn to draw, don't worry. Best thing to do is to just download a sketch from our website. So you just go to dianeantone.com and you will be able to find a sketch there if you really don't feel like doing it. But for those of you who do, the thing to do is you draw the semicircle for the center, and then a kind of guide around here on an ellipse. They call that a flattened circle. and that'll give you the guide to where the petals want to go. But don't fret. Don't fret about it, because it doesn't matter if it's not in perspective or it doesn't quite look right. It honestly, what does that mean? It doesn't look right. It doesn't matter. Just do a circle here and then a circle like that, and then put the petals in somehow. And then just give yourself 2 parallel lines coming down here at a slight angle with a slight curve. And then what I had here, I had another one. And so semicircle and then a kind of ellipse around it. And then just put your petals in and make this one smaller than that one perhaps. And just kind of any old how really. And then we'll do the stem going the other way. So this one goes that way, this one goes this way. And then we can put leaves in wherever we feel they're going to work best. And I know that these are not correct leaves for daisies, but that's what I've decided to do. So then I'm going to use this. This is a size 9 Draw Well brush. It's got a good point on it, and there's no point in a pointless brush. That would be pointless, so that's what we need. And then what I did here, I started off with the background. So I think I'll do the same again, and I think I'll do it again in green. And what I have here is, this is phthalo green mixed with a little bit of Quinacridone Gold. And I'm not going to be too pernickety about how dark it is or anything like that. I'm just going to literally dive in and go between the petals with the point of my brush and just kind of go jiggedy-jaggedy where I feel I want to go jiggedy-jaggedy. And we'll just go round. And you don't have to go right up to the top of the page. You can just stop wherever you run out of interest. The ones that John Laws had done, that bird, he didn't bother with covering the whole page. Just half of the bird actually was covered, not even the whole of the bird. So we'll just do that. That gives a bit more interest if you don't cover the whole thing. And so I'm not taking a lot of time over this, because to tell you the truth, I wanted to get this video done before I have to go out. I've got to go take the car to be serviced, and we need to go shopping for some food, stuff like that this afternoon. So I thought I would just literally try to get this done while I can. I'm not rushing it, I'm just not doing it super slow. But I always work fairly quickly. I am a fairly rapid painter, and I'm just jumping from side to side a bit there to give some variation. I don't want it to be even. I'm not going to keep saying literally. I promise, I've given it up for Lent. I don't want it to be, what's the word? I want it to be varied as we go along. So I am not taking any care at all about making it even. So then for the center of this, I'm going to pick up some Quinacridone Gold and just drop that in, using the same brush. And then I'm going to pick up a little bit of, this is permanent rose, and a bit of blue, Pthalo Blue. All I've got is 4 colours here. I've got Pthalo Blue, Paynes Grey, permanent rose, and Quinacridone Gold. And I just want a darker brown colour, so I'm just mixing the Pthalo Blue, Quinacridone and permanent rose, and just dropping that in and letting that blur. And just drop a little bit more of that around there like that. And then I'm going to take a wet brush, and I'm going to just touch that and let the colour bleed out into the petals like that. Okay, so we're just doing it like that, and then we'll just spread it out a little bit like that. And you never know how these are going to turn out. They're always going to be different. I'm just going to lift a bit of the colour out here to make that a bit lighter. And that blur a bit. And then the one down below, we're going to do, I wanted to do a sort of dark centre on the other one. I am your friend, but I'm not identical to you. So we'll just do that. So that's Paynes Grey, and then I'm just going to drop a bit more Paynes Grey in around the edge like that. Then I'm going to do the exact same thing. Clean brush with a bit of water on it, but not too much. And then I'm just going to literally, put the brush down, make the paper wet, and let the paint run out. And then we can lift a little bit of the light out of there if we want. And then we need to go to the green. We're going to do a nice dark green. So we want phthalo green and Quinacridone Gold mixed together quite thickly. And I'm not too worried about this, the particular shade it is. Just something quite dark. And then we'll pop in some leaves. Like that. And if you want to lighten that along a bit, just dry your brush off a bit and just suck up a bit of the paint. Gives you a bit more variation. And then if we make the other one a slightly different colour, add a bit more yellow to it. A couple of leaves like that. And then if we pick up some Paynes Grey, really quite dilute, that will give us something for shadows, and then we can just add some shadows to the ends of the petals like that. And having done that, having done all of this, the next thing to do is to let it dry, and then we'll come in with a pen and do some pen lines on it if we want. This is what I did on this one. I did some pen lines here, and these ones I drew with pen first and then coloured them in. You get a completely different, or you can get a completely different effect that way. And this one I just left the way it was. And these petals are much lighter because when I touched into the centre, I didn't pick up as much paint. It was a little bit drier. So that looks different. And you never really know how it's going to turn out. So I'm going to let this dry and I'll come back and probably do a bit of pen work over the top of it. Okay, that's dry now. I've got a Winsor & Newton sepia fine liner here, waterproof. This is a 0.5, I think. Yeah, and I'm going to use that to do some line work with. And this is where you definitely don't want to get all kind of tied up in detail or anything like that. But, you know, it's a good way to spend a few minutes. It's like doing colouring in, you know. It's a way to spend some time doing something repetitive and soothing to your soul. And how you do it is entirely up to you. I think it's a really good idea to just sort of follow your, follow your, what is the word? Follow your guiding light. Oh, strange thing happened last night, talking about guiding lights. Came downstairs this morning and I didn't discover it. My husband did. He went into the bathroom. Bathroom's downstairs, or we've got one downstairs and one upstairs. And he went into the bathroom downstairs, and he couldn't open the door. And eventually he managed to get it open, and inside, the whole bathroom was absolutely covered in broken glass. And the shower door, cubicle door, which was plate glass, one of them had just literally shattered, and the handle and the hinges were lying on the other side of the room, and the whole bathroom was literally covered, that's the word of the day, in broken glass. You know, like when a windscreen shatters? It's like that. I don't know how that happened. And I said to Tamsin when she came down, I said, did you hear anything last night? Because she sleeps probably the closest. Her bedroom is probably the closest. And she said, well, I did hear a bit of a noise around about midnight, and I thought the dogs had perhaps knocked something onto the floor. And I said, well, no, that was actually the shower cubicle exploding. Can you believe it? Anyway, so we spent the morning, that's why we're a bit behind today. We spent the morning picking up broken glass and thinking what to do next. Luckily, we've got a couple of other shower arrangements, so we're not going to go smelly, but I think probably what we'll have to do is buy a shower curtain and use that temporarily until we can figure out how to replace the glass. Has anyone had that happen? Just literally spontaneous, and there was nothing. It hadn't been recently replaced. It'd been there for 10 years or something like that. How could that possibly happen? I don't know. So you can see what I'm doing. You don't need me to tell you with words. I'm just putting some dots on there to give some texture. And then I'm going to put these petals in on this one. Try to give the impression of them overlapping. A little bit. So yeah, that was a bit. I thought to myself, supposing that happened when somebody was in there sitting on the loo or something, or worse still, even actually in the shower. I mean, my goodness me. So here we go. We've just got one more leaf to do. Oh, I wanted to mention a lady who I came across the other day because somebody on Facebook alerted me to the fact that another person had basically done a version of one of our paintings, and she hadn't mentioned anything about where she got the idea from. So I popped over to see, and yes, indeed, she had done a very good copy of one of our paintings. So I left her a little message and I said, if you like, I can, because she's got a tiny channel, I can mention your channel on mine, but when you copy one of my paintings exactly word for word kind of thing, I wouldn't mind if you just mentioned that you got it from us. So she said, oh, sorry, I thought I'd done that, but she'd obviously forgotten. Anyway, her name is Barbara Lynn Burns. Barbara Lynn Burns. I'll put a link in the description below, and you'll see which one it is. See if you can spot the one that she had copied, and she did a good job of it. And I'm glad she did it. And I'm happy when people do that kind of thing. It's really great to think that people are finding what I do interesting enough to copy it. That's amazing. So anyway, I'm just going to put another one in there. It looks like it needs a couple more here. Let me just draw those in with ink. And I think I want a white. just going to do a couple of little white dots here. Separate that a little bit. Right, okay, so that's that, and let's see what we're going to do next. Okay, so I think I'll leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed watching me doing that. I'll put the links to all the different materials that I used in the description below. This was Academy, this Bao Hong paper, but it's very, very similar, if not identical, to Meaden. So either Meaden hot press or the Bao Hong, and I know that you can get that from Amazon. This is a string and space sketchbook, which also you can get. I think you can get that in America, but I know you can get it in England, string and space. It's an A4 size, that is to say pretty much letter size, and it's not watercolor paper, it's just heavy sketch paper, but it is rather nice actually. The only disadvantage of these books is that they have this spiral binding, which is a little bit ugly, and I prefer the hardbound things like this, but on the other hand they have advantages too. So yeah, and this one is a Strathmore watercolor sketchbook. You know, Strathmore, very famous, and I don't think you can do much better than that. The paper seems to work very well, and I mean this watercolor wash behind this little bee eater came out really quite well, so I was quite pleased with that, so that's okay. And the paints I used, like I said, I just used 4 colours, and I hardly used any Paynes Grey at all. It's basically Pthalo Blue, Quinacridone Gold and Permanent Rose, and you can do a lot with those 3 colours. You really can. You can make just about any colour you want, really, from those. And I used a Drawwell brush from Japan, and there's information about that on the description below as well. I don't get anything from them. That's just me recommending my favourite brush makers. And I used Winsor & Newton fine liners, and I think that's about it, really, just an ordinary pencil. And I will let you go now. Don't forget to check out our website. Sign up on our website to receive our newsletter, which has always got something new in it and often something free in it each week. And you can, of course, download, once you've gone to our website and signed up on our website, not necessarily for the newsletter, but we would like you to, you can download sketches for free, or you can pay for them if you prefer. That just helps keep the wheels turning of the channel. Plus, of course, if you feel like supporting us in a more sort of deep-seated kind of way, you can join us on Patreon or do YouTube membership, and you get various different perks. So hopefully I'll see you over on Patreon soon. I'm going to let you go now. I'm going to go and change and get ready to go out, and I will see you soon. Have fun painting some daisies. See you soon, everybody. Bye-bye for now.